welcome to Monster Craft Adventures. Today's episode is another customization of Masters of the Universe. And as a big fan of Masters of the Universe, let's get started. We're going to take Stridor. And the Stridor was one of my favorite toys growing up. And Origins has come out with this posable version of Stridor from the 80s. The box art is absolutely amazing, but there was a villain known as Nightstalker who looked identical to Stridor, and that's who we're going to customize this figure into. So let's get started.
Alright guys, here he is base coated all black with a really nice base coat to put down our metallic antique gold folk art paint. I also taped off all the stickers so that we wouldn't be ruining the stickers. I'm going to go through and paint everything with this gold in one coat, and then I will off camera do the gold, which will take 4 coats, and that way we can get on with our project and it won't take so long. The thing with this folk art paint is absolutely amazing, but it is very translucent. But on top of a glossy black, it gives you this really nice metallic effect that you can't get if you were to paint it on a flat black surface. This Stridor has been a project of mine I've been wanting to do, and I'm so glad that I get to do it here on this channel and share it with you guys. Stridor was one of my favorites, but Nightstalker, the version of Nightstalker, was absolutely my all-time favorite between the two. Now, on this custom, I do change things up a little bit and go my own route. To me, there was just a lot more gold in the original, and this has such a beautiful sculpt design to it that it has a lot of details I think I can bring out with other colors. And so I'm at this point, I was deciding what was going to be gold and what wasn't. I still wanted to give it the aesthetic that it was Nightstalker, so I had to decide how much gold I was actually going to use. And please leave down in the comments if you were a Nightstalker fan or if you even owned him back in the 80s. Now the brush marks, I am putting it on kind of thick and heavy on the first coat because I want that streaky look as the first coat. So it'll give it that metallic metal look, even more like a brushed metal effect, which you'll see at the after all the coats are put on. Just remember, do the custom the way that you feel is necessary, what makes you happy, because to me it was just a lot of gold that I figured was too much for my pleasing. But if you want it more to the actual toy, what it was in the 80s, then you would go through and paint a lot more gold than I ended up painting, which is absolutely fine. That's the thing about customs, is it's to the person's liking, and as long as you're happy with it, go for it. I'm so happy that Origins brought out these posable versions of the Masters of the Universe that were reminiscent to the old toys. They're absolutely incredible and bring back a lot of great memories. There is a thing about the old 80s toys, I think, that people in the 80s and 90s realize that they don't make toys like they used to, and not only that, they don't make cartoons like they used to. And so to me, this is one of my favorite things to do, is to take things from my childhood that brought me such pleasure and be able to customize them and work on them. It is truly awesome. Now, I will be, in future videos, be doing customizations of some of the Revelations He-Man. They are super detailed. I like how they also stayed with the kind of the looks of some of the characters back in the 80s cartoons. The way that they did the storyline, not such a big fan, but, you know, it's what personal preference, I guess. After a long debate, I decided what parts I wanted to do to kind of keep that look. So I painted some of the leg parts, the internal parts, in the gold, but I left the actual inner part of the leg black, and I also left some of the original leg color showing through, so it kind of looks worn or rusty. And how I emphasized on that, I also took a little bit of the silver over top of the original color, which it made it look rusty, and you'll see as we continue to paint. But even just with the one coat so far, you can see that the metallic look to it is incredible. This paint really met my expectations and then some. Nightstalker is going to make a great addition to my collection, and now I will have a Nightstalker for my Jitsu figure, and a Stridor for my Fisto character. So super excited to see them all displayed. May do a future video of them actually set up and displayed so that everybody can see them. Again, would just like to thank everybody for subscribing and commenting and hitting the notification bell and supporting our channel, because it's really a dream come true to be able to do this kind of work and share all of our projects with you. Being a starting channel, this has been extremely stressful but fun all at the same time. We just have to hang in there and keep pushing forward. You can also check us out on Instagram at Monstercraft Adventures. We do polls and ask you all what our next project should be, and kind of give you a voice to kind of lead our channel in the direction you would like to see it go in. But we figured we'd start this custom in this video because this way everyone can have a project that they can do. A lot of people don't feel comfortable sculpting, or they don't have access to a 3D printer, so those kind of customs aren't for everyone. But just taking a little paint and giving it a paint scheme of your own is an easy custom, and anybody can do it. So I try to keep it open to projects that anybody can participate and enjoy doing. And this was one I thought for sure everyone who's a Master of the Universe fan would just absolutely fall in love with, because he was an iconic character. So we will get to more customs of the Master of the Universe as this channel grows a little. I may even do some reviews on some of the newer toys. And here I even did some paint gold details on the head. I didn't want to go too much with the gold again on the head sculpt. I wanted to still give him the appearance of being a black horse. The neck did have some really cool designs around the rim here of each of the neck rings. I painted them silver. It's a folk art metallic sterling silver. We have a little helper today doing our voiceover, Miss Morgana. The cool thing is, my family and I, we love doing projects together and involving our children and everyone. So don't be surprised if you don't hear our 8-month-old or our 5-year-old in the background on some videos. I mean, I guess that's the advantage of having a dad who collects toys and makes toys. And here you can see a really good shot here. You can see within the silver line, there's these little rivets around the neck as well. I later on go through and paint each of those rivets the same color purple that I use throughout this project, just to give him a spot more of detail. Again, these metallic paints are very translucent, but once you layer them on, they're extremely incredible to look at visually. Now, the one thing I will say is that the silver did go on in less coats than the gold. And here on the helmet, I decided to paint in this area here silver. It kind of looks like hammered metal, so I thought it would be a pretty neat piece to do in the silver. And guys, don't worry about messing up on the paint, because if you do happen to overlap or anything with your paint, you can always go back with a glossy black and just repaint the spot where you messed up and then just repaint it again. It's never a total loss. Just take your time and realize if you mess up, it's okay. And here you can see the legs that I've went through and I've hit. And at this point, I was sitting and looking at all the mechanical parts on the legs and the actual saddle area There's some vents. I decided that I was going to do them in copper and silver, but I thought that was a little much. I'm glad I just stuck with the gold and silver. And again, the look I was going for, guys, is not perfection. I wanted it to look worn and weathered, battled, damaged, and actually look like what I would expect the real one to look like if it existed. And in between coats, give your paint time to dry. I mean, really take your time, allow it to dry so that when you apply your second coat, you're not smearing or taking off part of the first coat as you go along. If you can see, the reflection of my hand and the brushes in the gold paint is just truly one of the nicest gold paints that I've used. I definitely plan on using these metallic paints for future projects as well. And here I'm doing the silver on the piston arms themselves. Like I said, this figure alone had so much detail in the sculpt that I really wanted to get as much use out of it as possible by trying to paint in all the details that I could. And here you can see I added in the purple and finished out the other silver details, and even added in some red details on some of the buttons. Absolutely incredible. And here I did the gold on the metal parts of the armored helmet in gold. And just like the horse itself, I did 4 coats of the gold. The original helmet was all purple, so I decided to take it a different route and have it match the paint job that I was giving it. Here I'm going in with silver, and I started painting some of the brow guards on the armor to the helmet. And I skipped every other one, and then I will go back and paint those gold. The horn I also painted silver. And then there's a small ring at the bottom of the horn that I painted with the gold. And here I'm painting in the gold in between the silver pieces so that it kind of gives it a really cool effect seeing them up against each other like this. Now at the beginning of this, before I had painted anything, I was trying to lay out in my head how I wanted to paint the helmet. It was the most difficult to decide on how to paint. But I'm glad I went with the gold and silver. For all the metal looking pieces on the helmet. Here I'm doing the nose pieces of the armor in gold as well. And you can see with the purple throughout the rest of the helmet, it looks absolutely gorgeous, I think. I hope you all like it as well. Here it is with the helmet on. With the blood red eyes showing through. Absolutely incredible. At this stage, I hadn't uncovered the stickers yet. And here are some close-up shots of the helmet. And there's the stickers out in the open. Now time to clear coat. I used a Rust-Oleum clear coat. It was a durable clear coat. And I misted him with 3 light coats. And it really brought out all the silver and all the gold. It made it shine even more. It was absolutely incredible. Make sure you do spray, if you do spray a clear coat, to use it in a well-ventilated area or outside. I used a box to help keep dust and things from falling onto the clear coat.
Alright, now that was a monstrous craft that I enjoyed so much, and I'm so glad you guys were able to join us in this customization. So here it is, guys. Nightstalker. absolutely awesome. It turned out better than I ever thought it could, and I couldn't be happier. So here it is, side by side. You get Nightstalker and Stridor, and we have so many more customs to come, guys. So hit that like and subscribe button and give that little notification bell a monstrous jam, and keep up with us in what's up to come. Keep up with us on Instagram, Facebook. Looking forward to doing more projects with you guys. Bye.